Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. This is Hollow versus Mercy here. Sparky, Slasher, Remilea, and Swingblade here on the side of Hollow on the Ormond Resorts here. Merked for the side of Mercy here. Immediately we're seeing Chase going on here on this top side of the map here. Slasher trying to win this window 50, it looks like, but unfortunately is going to take a very early tag here against the Doctor. Can be quite devastating, can shut down loops very quickly, has to pre-drop this pallet. A shock around this pallet will just mean a very quick down onto Slasher probably, but Slasher just winning that 50. Very, very good job there from Slasher. Another shock coming through, needs to drop this pallet, but unfortunately just not going to get it in time. A swing through the pallet will cause the pallet to both be dropped and Slasher to go down. Very good start for Mirkt here, as we are seeing a doubling of a gen going on in the main building, or near the main building here. Pain Resonance, however, gonna come through, and we're actually seeing a very interesting build here in Save the Best for Last. Rapid Brutality, Corrupt, and Pain Resonance. Obviously, more chase-oriented. The Doctor not expected to get very high stages, especially on a map like the Ormond Resort even, but even then, we want a little bit of gen regression, and we want some power in chases. His power comes from being able to shut down these chases as quickly as possible, not so much with the gen regression. So we're looking around here, and we do actually find it looks like Swingblade over on this top side of the map here. I think this is the bottom side of the map, actually, but we are seeing a pretty... no, this is the top side of the map. We are seeing Swingblade actually looping this very effectively here, and Remy was coming in for the save, but is unfortunately just barely not going to be able to get it. A gen popping in the distance for a tag onto Remy, and the unhook just not going to be able to happen. Beautiful stuff here from Mirkt, denying the unhooked, and Slasher looks like it's just going to go second stage. We are seeing someone else here in Swingblade. Swingblade now just having to take their leave over towards the small hut here. We are seeing a gen being worked on this side of the map as well here, wanting to big shock the main building, preventing any sort of progress being done to it, and we are barely able to stop it from popping as well, with second stage being reached by Slasher. So very good stuff from Mirkt here. Swingblade now continuing chase, and it's going to take a very, very unfortunate tag here. We have 2 injuries and a second stage. So it's up to Sparky now to go for the unhook. 2 injuries, an unhook, a death hook at 4 gens. This is very, very good stuff here for Team Mercy. As we are seeing now, Slasher running away towards the machine here. And it looks like Sparky is going to effectively take a good body block hit. So very, very good stuff there from Sparky. Another stack of Save the Best for Last, however, going to come in. We need this down as quickly as possible, but it looks like we have no choice but to break this pallet. A gen popping in the distance here. 3 generators remaining. I have to assume maybe 1 coming up very, very soon here. 1 being worked off in the distance by Remilea. And here comes Swingblade getting ready to reset inside of main. It's up to Slasher to defend for himself here. We're trying to do a bit of a mind game here. We actually are able to effectively do it, but it's not going to quite get the hit through the pallet. The ping difference just not coming in there. And Chase continues having to break this pallet here. Slasher running away as well as fast as the survivors feats will let him. And we are seeing another hit tank coming in from Swingblade. Very effective communication at getting this reset so that another hit tank can come in. Slasher living to see just a couple more seconds. Going up towards the main building here. A very strong God pallet here. Do we actually make it? We do not. Unfortunately, Slasher having no choice but to force locker. A very effective chase there, though, allowing for generators to pop in the distance, resetting now coming through, and it looks like we only have a little bit of progress on the map here. Not really anything to speak of. And that is a death at 2 gens remaining. A big shock coming in as we do see Sparky here over at Shack here. And, oh, we might be having a few issues here with connection. Yeah, it looks like we're having a few issues here with connection. We're gonna be right back, ladies and gentlemen, while we figure out exactly what is happening. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are back here with more Mercy versus, making sure I get the names right, Hollow, yes. And need to address something that happened previously. That was entirely a connection issue on my part. Completely my fault, not the servers of DBD, nothing of the sort. So the game continued as it was, and the result was a 4K2. So I heavily apologize that you all missed the action from last game. However, we are back here with the action for this game. This time, we have Vamp on the side of Hollow, I believe. Yes, and Doc, Ilo, Comeback Arc, Tai, and Merked for the side of Mercy. An amazing chase going on so far, able to take this window. Beautiful stuff here from Tai. A shot coming in, V trying to shut down this chase as quickly as possible, and it looks like we may be able to do so. No, Tai actually winning this loop very, very well. This loop is actually very good. Oh my goodness. And a gen does pop in the distance as a result, so great stuff here. Trying to win this shock, but is not actually going to be able to. And Tai is able to take his distance over to a new tile here. Another interesting tile, a filler here coming in. A pallet dropped as well. And we are seeing Merked over there ready, it looks like, to take a hit if necessary. And that will be happening as we're able to make the crane here. Hit coming in onto Merked here. And another gen popping in the distance. The gen efficiency from Team Mercy. Incredible stuff. But a down, finally, gonna be coming through here. As we are now gonna be taking Tai to a hook. Now, seeing a pretty similar build to last time, with the exception of no save the best for last. We're seeing Rapid Brutality, Pain Resonance, Corrupt, Intervention, and Agitation. So we're actually prioritizing trying to take our hooks to more agreeable locations here. Which is honestly also a very good strategy. Save the best for last strategy, definitely also very, very strong. Does mean that, you know, the Obsession will need to take hits more and more to prevent 2-taps from happening. We're able to just kind of camp this. Remember, our win condition is a 4K2. A tie condition even. So to win this game, we will need to get a 4K3. So another gen popping means that the game will be over. Or not the game will be over, I apologize, but the tie will have to suffice. And it looks like Vamp might actually be just okay with letting that happen, as we're seeing another gen off in the distance being worked here. Is it 2 gen? No, I think it's just the 1 gen being worked here, as Vamp is now chasing Ilo. Ilo? I'm gonna have to ask to see if that's Ilo or Ilo here, but we are seeing a tag coming in onto him. Regardless, heading over to the machine here, 9 side of the map here, wanting to go back to the unhook. However, as the second stage does come through just before the unhook can come in, that is unfortunate stuff. Do we see a tunnel here? It doesn't look like we're actually seeing a tunnel. We want to go for, instead, Doc. And we are seeing a tag onto Doc too. All injuries. A gen popping in the distance here. So very good stuff here. That is the tie condition. Man, another gen popping will mean that the game will go to Mercy. Another shock coming through as Doc tries to take his distance over to a different tile here. We are able to make this pallet here. Need to actually make it here, and we will not be doing so. Very unfortunate stuff from Doc. Good stuff from Vamp here. Pain Resonance is what's needed. You have to assume that's exactly why we are not chasing Tai and going for the tunnel out, which is honestly probably a very smart play here, considering the situation. And this hook does mean we can pretty freely explore the map. Now, we are seeing resets coming through from Ilo and Merked here, so Tai is still someone to worry about here, as we are seeing Ilo over at this tile here. It doesn't look like we're interested in committing for a chase here, as the unhook does happen off in the distance. And a gen, I have to assume, is being worked here. And Merked heading over to this tile over on the, I believe this is the 7 side of the map, something like that, if I remember my Ormond comms correctly. But we're not interested in taking that chase. Instead, we want to go over to the shack side of the map to prevent another gen from popping. And it doesn't look... Yeah, no, it doesn't look like much progress is going on here, as we are seeing another chase onto Ilo at this filler pallet here. A shock coming through, needs to take his distance now, looping this rock as effectively as possible. Another shock coming through. Ilo doing his best with the resources he has, needs to now play this pallet effectively. He's going to take his distance back over to this rock, as he played it decently well before and is actually going to survive pretty long without getting a tag, but unfortunately it is going to come through. You have another zoom. Another gen is pretty close to popping. One gen in the distance, two gens in the distance being worked here. Very, very good stuff here. Very good efficiency from the side of Team Mercy. Another gen being worked off in the distance, as Vamp, no choice but to leave and go for a different chase. As we are seeing Doc over on this top side of the map here, vaulting the window, trying to maybe win a grind game. Double vaulting the window, trying to again to win the mind game. And does it actually work with the shock? It looks like it does, as Doc, I believe it's going to go down. I don't know if he makes this. He does! Very good stuff from Doc. Very efficient pathing. Has no choice but to leave now. Vamp knows that another gen popping will mean his demise, but I don't think it means anything, as we are seeing another gen popping in the distance. This round goes to Team Mercy. Very, very good stuff from Team Mercy. We are now playing for credibility here, as we are seeing another gen just being worked off in the distance, and it's about to pop. We're not going to get this down in time before that happens. Is an adrenaline coming through? No, it doesn't look like an adrenaline is coming through. However, a chase onto Ilo. This is your fresh hook, so if you're going to go for anyone, this would definitely be your ideal chase here, just to maximize your points. And needs to play this filler very well. Needs to win a 50 here. Can he actually do it? Does semi do it? Yeah, but a shot coming through will mean the demise of Ilo. However, though we have maximized our points, this round is already set in stone. Team Mercy has taken it. And we might see Team Mercy actually going for the unhook here. Obviously, they can if they want to. It's not going to affect their victory in any sort of way. The victory has already occurred. So it looks like they will instead want to try to just go for decreasing the amount of points for Team Hollow here. And we are protecting this unhook with our lives here. A tag on to Doc here, and a tag onto Merc here. Ty is here to take a tag as well, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get it down any effectively at all, but it looks like we've actually managed to get past Ty. We might be seeing another down here on to Ilo, but barely missing, and we are unfortunately seeing a 4 out. That is going to be an incredible performance from Team Mercy. Very impressive, and when we come back, we will see if they can replicate a similar result on the Dead Sands on The Artist. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are here on the Dead Sands playing some Artist Vamp for the side of Team Hollow here. Ty, Merc, Doc, and Ilo for the side of Team Mercy. Immediately, we're seeing Chase on to Ty, setting up this bird to prevent this loop and shut it down completely, as it means that Ty will have to take his distance to a new loop here, dropping the pal. Unfortunately, not gonna land a stun nor a prevent a hit or anything, but we do also have birds attached to us. Need to land a decent bird hit here, but unfortunately Ty gonna get his birds off pretty efficiently here. Needs to also shut down this loop as effectively as possible. Does land birds true. Very, very good stuff from Vamp here, setting up his birds to try to confirm the down. And it looks like we have effectively zoned Ty. So very, very good stuff here. Merc and Doc are stacking up a gen here. So we will be seeing a hook onto Ty potentially before the gen pop. This is actually going to be relatively close here, and it barely doesn't happen. We heard the generator popping just barely. Wait, it does happen. It does happen. Wait, we actually heard the generator popping, and we saw the regression coming through and the screams. That was down to the wire there. That was great stuff. So I think it's a dead pain. Wait, did that count as pain resonance? I think that counted as pain resonance. Yeah, we don't have a stack of pain resonance anymore, but that still applied to the generator that just popped. That's how down to the wire it was. I have never seen that interaction before. Incredible stuff. I mean, down to the wire stuff. That was, I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. But we are seeing a tag onto Merc here. A bit of a wasted pain resonance, but it's a-okay. We are seeing now birds being shot over into Shack here, applying birds onto Ty. You'd love to see a death in basement here. That would actually very effectively. Oh, this pretty much confirms Ty's death if we die in this basement. That's gonna be some good stuff here. Picking up Ty. And yeah, we're gonna be seeing a basement play. That is almost basically gonna confirm Ty's death here, but we are also seeing gens being worked off in the distance. So generator efficiency cannot hold just because we have a gen in or a hook in the basement. We have to continue with what we've got, and we might be seeing Ty just simply dying on this hook. I don't think there's a way, really and truthfully, to get Ty out of here safely, but we do actually know that these gens are being worked, so we have to try to at least prevent them from popping, right? Now, here's the thing. We are away from this basement to the point where we could potentially go for this unhook, and I think Vamp knows that. So I think we're going to be heading back over to the unhook just to make sure that it doesn't happen, but it does actually happen. Did we get greedy for this is the question. Now, an immediate tag onto Ty. This could be a very fast tunnel out. Actually, very good stuff here. If so, we need to shut down this loop, and it looks like Ty is actually going to be able to make a very good jiggy over to this filler tile over here. Double filler tile. Needs to drop one and needs to drop the other. Very good stuff from Ty, faking out the birds, and we have someone here to take some hits in Ilo. Ilo getting ready to help out Ty when necessary, taking some birds here, eating the birds. A tag coming through onto Ilo, applying birds again, but I don't think Ty is able to make any distance off of it. So was it effective is the question you have to ask. Ty able to make a little bit of distance, but is he actually going to make anything here? He's able to maybe make this window, fakes it out. Great stuff from Ty, winning that window 50. Placing birds to shut down this loop as effectively as possible, and we've taken down Ty. Very good stuff from Vamp. A pickup coming through, a death at 2 generators remaining, but another one is about to pop, so you have to assume it's 1 generator remaining. I could be mistaken about the pain resonance. It might have actually hit a generator that had like 1% of progress, for example, but I'm fairly certain it hit the generator that was just barely completed. If so, that is, again, an interaction I've never seen before. I didn't know it could be that down to the wire, but it was. Look at that. An injured party here. And we are taking chase onto Merc. A head-on play coming through. We might have suspected that being the case here, but it looks like Vamp doesn't really care because he knows it's the injured party. So we might have actually not have minded getting the head on here. Sending birds, not going to quite land true, but I think that has zoned Ilo enough where we can make this pally. No, we barely don't make this pally. That's another Pain Resonance coming through as well. Jen off in the distance being worked by Doc. And we're not able to prevent him getting off, but we are able to get our Pain Resonance going. And we want to actually carry him a little bit closer to where maybe our patrol is going to be here. So that's why we're carrying over to this Pain Resonance hook over by this generator. And it's actually going to be a good call because that's exactly the generator that we were working here. Want to see if we can find a survivor lurking around for the unhook. Ilo immediately gets unhooked. So that is not a farm, but you have to assume that's to make Vamp's life just a little bit more difficult here while Doc is working on a generator in the distance. And it looks like it's actually going to be Mert working on the generator in the distance, not Doc. So Doc is actually the one that got that unhook, sending birds, trying to shut down this Orman tile as effectively as possible. Now, there is something I was made aware of recently about the Orman tile that you can abuse the hell out of when it comes to the artist's birds, where they kind of like fly overhead or do some weird physics thing. I'm gonna have to look into that again, but we're not gonna be able to do that here, and that is going to be a down onto Doc with a Pain Resonance coming through exactly where this generator was being worked. So not the best stuff here for Team Mercy, but Vamp has a lot to be thankful for here in this potential 4K1. And we can cap this hill if we want to, it looks like. Want to look around here, see if we can find maybe a survivor lurking. Perhaps there's a gen being worked off in the distance. Merc is stealthing in Shack, and unfortunately, we were found. It means that Ilo will have no choice but to go for the unhook once the injury happens, and it does. So, Ilo is continuing to work this generator off in the distance, actually. That is, ooh. And a tag with birds does come through here. We're not interested in continuing chase onto Mert. No need. It looks like we're running into an area where there's no generator progress anyway. So maybe continuing for this chase just isn't the play. Maybe instead you just, you know, keep patrolling that generator, trying to pressure Ilo off of it as much as we possibly can. We're not able to get those tags in. Is Ilo even working the generators anymore? He is. He is working a generator off in the distance there. Wants to try to go for a slingshot, but that you have to assume was maybe even calmed. And it was. You can see Ilo preparing for it. So very effective there by Ilo. Doc will be going second. Merc injured. Ilo injured. This is a very precarious spot here for Team Mercy. But I have seen teams come back from worse situations. And it means Ilo has no choice but to leave the area. Doc and Merc getting applied with the birds. Ilo vacating the area. We want to try to predict where our survivors are going to go. Can it land true? Not quite, but very good stuff there from Vamp. Applying pressure the best way that we possibly can. We're heading back over to this generator. This is Ilo. Ilo taking chase over on the top side of the map here. Wants to send out birds and try to get this chase shut down as quickly as possible. Trying to win this mind game here, sending birds, eating the birds. Probably a necessary play here, but Ilo, there is no way we can avoid that. Very good stuff from Vamp. Send in the cavalry. Oh my goodness. Everything in our arsenal. Give them all you got, and you'll kill them with something. Hook on to Ilo. We're heading over to this generator to give it a good kick. Get it, start the regression. Doc and Mert have reset in the distance. So this gives Team Mercy just a little bit more pressure here. And it was actually a very smart decision. I'm now recounting in my head why going... This is completely the doctor set from last time. Why Mercy went for the unhook. It's because the minimization of points does actually matter. This is a best of two, so the point system is going to matter the most here. So minimizing Hollow's points is actually mattering there, more so than I gave it credit for at the beginning. And Doc is not going to get afflicted with birds here, so... Meanwhile, Merc is working this generator, trying to maximize efficiency. Doc gonna be working this generator as well, trying to pressure Vamp as much as we possibly can here, but it doesn't like Vamp really cares. Instead, We are letting Ilo die on this hook. Merc gets afflicted with birds. We can't really do anything about it. It looks like this is a 4k1 here. Doc continuing to work this generator. Now, here's the thing. This gen could pop. If Merc has an effective chase, if the survivors play it efficiently and effectively, we could actually be seeing a 4k0. Birds flying, not gonna hit Doc. Doc, very efficient there. Understanding what Vamp is doing, you have to assume the calm was made to Doc by Merc there. And Doc is still pressuring this generator. Merc around the generator wants to keep Vamp in this area, does not want to just straight up leave. You want to keep Vamp in this area so that he does not feel safe to actually go back to that generator that Doc is working. Now, here's the thing. Merc is your pain resonance. So maybe you do have to actually commit for this, but it looks like we're not interested in doing that. We are going to pressure this generator. Birds are going to be flying in a second. Maybe we want to go for a slingshot? No, we instead want to just go back. But here's the thing. I think it's too little too late for that. As the gen does pop in the distance, this is going to be all gens popping, and potentially Survivor is getting out of this gate. Very good efficiency from Team Mercy. We are now sending up birds here, trying to pressure the survivors off of these gates here. This maximizes Team Mercy's points even more than I gave it credit for. A 4k0 is better than a 4k1, even by other tournament standards, but by Entity's Campfire standards with the point system, that means a lot. Especially considering he managed to get all 4 survivors out of the gate last time. A tag onto Docked. We want Merc. Merc is our best bet at maximizing our points. But here's the thing. Is it too little too late? Because if Merc gets out of this door, that is going to be a lost cause as Merc does get out. It's just a little bit too little too late. And now it's up to Doc to escape as well. The hatch is going to spawn inside of Shaq, and he's out. Amazing stuff from Team Mercy. The efficiency was excellent. Their points have been maximized, and when we come back, we will see if Team Hollow can match. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Enemies Campfire. We are here with the final match of Team Hollow versus Team Mercy. Sparky, Slasher, Swingblade, and Vamp here for the side of Team Hollow. Merrick for the side of Team Mercy, beginning on, on the Dead Sands. An immediate bird tag onto Vamp here as we're heading over to this bottom side of the map. Wants to try to confirm a very quick tag here, and we do actually do so very effectively as Vamp going to be taking a tag here. Very good stuff from Merc, preventing Vamp from being able to really make anything very effectively. Does drop this filler, but I don't think Vamp, no, that's not true. Vamp does actually have these double filler pallets to actually play here, but does need to make this pallet. This is actually a very good tile, as we are now shutting down these loops as effectively as we possibly can. That's what I mean. The birds kind of like flew overhead, I think because there was like a bump in the sand or something. That is very interesting. But Vamp still taking very effective chases here. Dropping this pallet needs to last as long as possible. Throwing out birds here and a Tana down onto Vamp. Very good stuff here. This is also going to be a very down to the wire pain resonance if we don't have it here immediately. And unfortunately, it is going to be pop. A pop in the distance. We're not interested in actually taking the pain resonance anymore. Instead, we're now going to be taking in the basement. Probably a very, very smart play here from Merc. And we are actually going to make it too. So very good stuff from Merc to down pretty effectively, and a hook in the basement as well with only 4 gens remaining. You have to really commend the start here. We just want to protect these gens to the best of our ability. Sending out birds going to be defending this generator over on this bottom side of the map here. Not going to be seeing a survivor just yet, but we do know Swingblade is around here. So want to just defend this area. Sparky and Slash are going to be working a gen off in the distance here. Doesn't look like we're interested in going for this unhook onto Vamp, and that's probably, that is definitely a good idea. We don't want to really go for an unnecessary, especially in the basement. It's going to be very difficult even to get Vamp out of there without an immediate down. So very smart, just go for the gens, go for as much as you possibly can. And something I have to address that I said from last game, that is not true. The points do not matter as much as I gave it credit for. Thank you to Furious for addressing that for me. And again, the birds just dip down into the pit as well. It's very misleading if you know what you're doing. And just continuing to pressure these generators. Vamp will unfortunately be going second inside of this basement. Merc's very good last minute decision making to, oh, well, I can't get a pain resonance, so I'm going to go hook in the basement. So very, very good stuff from Merc, not panicking under pressure here. And that is leading to very, very, very good stuff from him. As we're seeing a tag onto Swingblade here, and this might be a very quick down. Does Swingblade actually make something? I don't think he does. No, he has no choice but to just force locker here. Beautiful stuff from Merc. 3 generators remaining, a death in the basement as well, and that is going to be another pain resonance, or a pain resonance, excuse me, to look forward to as well. Now we want to see if we can prevent, or if we can go for some sort of tunnel out here, but Sparky going to be taking a tag, heading over towards this right side of the top side of the map here, sending out some birds to try to patrol the generators. We see Vamp here. This is our tunnel out survivor. This is who you want out of anyone. The Orman tile now going to be a point of worry here for Vamp playing this Orman tile. Orman tiles are actually, again, very effective against the artist. But it looks like we are taking our life and we're able to make some distance here. We are having this filler tile over here to play. Dropping the pallet. Very good stuff from Vamp. Sending out some birds. Wants to try to hit a Jiggy, but it's not going to quite make it. Very good stuff. Oh my goodness. That was actually very good stuff from Vamp, and we're able to make this filler pallet here. I didn't think that would actually work, but Vamp proving me wrong. Trying to play this pallet, but a swing through the pallet will just mean Vamp will be going down. Wasn't trying to die on the pallet. Oh, we were trying to die on the pallet. I did not hear the survivor's footsteps. That was very good stuff from Team Hollow here. And birds being applied over on this shack tile here. Want to put some birds out. Try to get this down quickly. Not going to quite work out. Vamp living to see just a little bit longer, but we are not making this pallet over at shack. A tide needs to come through last second, and it does. Beautiful stuff from Slasher. And that is unfortunate. We've saved about 20 seconds with that tag, though, so that's actually very, very good stuff still from Team Hollow, and you have to assume a generator in the distance about to pop. That was Arcane Resonance, though. A death at 2 generators remaining. Swing Blade being tagged with birds. All survivors injured. This is still a very precarious situation for Team Hollow as Swing Blade goes down very quickly. This is not a Pain Resonance, though. I think at this point, Slasher and Sparky will have no choice. Yeah, we're going to be seeing them resetting off in the distance as well. Probably the smartest decision that they could make here. Swing Blade going to be on second hook. Reset's about to come through. We're doing the 99ing of survivor resets so that we do not give Merc too much information too quickly. Sending birds over to Shack, seeing if we can patrol the generators here. And Slasher and Sparky have resets, so there is Merc's information. He now knows what they were doing, but not too quickly that he could have reacted to it. Sparky eating some birds here over on this bottom side of the map here. Wants to send out some birds, see if we can't maybe get a tag on Sparky, but we unfortunately do not. And we are just defending this hook. We actually can do so with relative comfort here. Our win condition pretty forgiving. Swing Blade now taking tags, but the bird does not want to take the injury just yet, Aaron. We're body blocking the pallet. Oh my god. You have to assume someone's here maybe for a pallet save. Was it calmed fast enough? We don't want to pick up just yet. We do find Slasher. Slasher takes the tag here, heading over to this top side of the map. One side, I believe. Tries to fake out Merc to the best of our ability, but unfortunately we are going down. That is going to be a hook on to Slasher and a death on to Swing Blade. Sparky was over by that gen pop. We know where every survivor is at this point. This is looking like a 4K1. Death on to Swing Blade, 2 survivor protocol. Unhook coming through. And there it is, Slasher and Sparky both getting afflicted with birds. That is pretty much cementing their fate here. A very effective tag onto Sparky. Slasher gets to live to see another day, but does Sparky? It doesn't look like it. A death onto Sparky. A pallet just barely not able to make it. And now the question is, what is Slasher going to do? Slasher just working a generator off in the distance, but a Pain Resonance going to be happening. Slasher, no choice but to leave here. Any means necessary coming through, giving himself a little bit more room to work with, but the death onto Slasher does solidify this 4K1 for Team Mercy. This match is going to Team Mercy. Congratulations to Team Mercy, and well played to both teams here. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we will have Contra casting the Hillbilly and the Lich, Aphelion versus Raven. Stay tuned for that. Goodbye.